Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob, and there's no guest today.
It feels weird, doesn't it? We've had so many guests lately that
it's just giant goofy balls.
Yeah, it seems weird, doesn't it? Like, I feel like we should have somebody here. Like, should we just keep a blank space, perhaps?
Yeah.
It just, it just feels odd at this point here. But I have good news for you all, though. We will have a guest on tomorrow, as Tim from New York Giants Straight Talk will be on with us tomorrow. So yeah, we got another guest coming for you. We also have one Monday next week and potentially Thursday next week. And there's still somebody else we're talking to. We got guests coming out the woodworks here, guys, but this one here is a Rob and Drew special here because this is going to be a fun one, guys. This is the very, very last time that we can say the season has not begun yet. Actually, I take it back. We got an episode tomorrow. Technically, the season hasn't begun yet for that either. But we're doing our first preview of a game. Granted, it's a preseason game, and we always tell y'all, every single time we have the preseason begin, we get all excited, and then remember the games kind of suck.
Yeah.
So not to ruin our own content here and say, hey, we're about to talk about a crappy game, but we are. Let's be honest.
I mean, I guess some of the biggest excitement you're going to see is like not Russ playing. You're going to see a little bit of Winston, but you're going to see some more, third string playing. And who's our third string?
And that we're going to get into all that today, obviously. So there's some rookies we're going to be excited about. There's a guy changing positions we're going to be excited about seeing. There's one position battle in specific that we're interested in seeing. So, there's definitely some good things to watch here still, even with that. So for those who may have been living ostrich style with their head in the sand for the last couple weeks here, we are playing the Bills in Buffalo. That's the matchup here. It's going to be Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe it's actually going to be on NFL Network here. They're saying nationally. So I believe that when I see it, because I've been told stuff like that before, then all of a sudden I go on it and it's different. But 1 o'clock, it's going to be on NBC for those of y'all living in the New York area. So News Channel 4. WNBC. I did have to do that today because of Howard Stern supposedly being canceled by Sirius. They're going to let his contract run out.
Oh, are they?
I just read that today, yeah. And that was from, of course, the Private Parts movie with Howard Stern. WNBC.
Thanks, Big Mama.
Anyway, it's gonna be on NBC, I'll say, so we stopped doing that. It's gonna be on NFL Network. It's also gonna be streamed on Giants.com as well, or the Giants app. So there's a whole lot of ways to watch this, guys. And listen, we're all excited because it's football, actual football.
I'm ready for some football.
I'm less excited by the third quarter, but for now, we're excited. God damn it!
We're not gonna be this excited by the end of the second.
That's what happens every single goddamn year. We fall for it every time. So we're not gonna fall for it this time. We're not going to fall for it.
We already fell for it.
But listen, guys, there's still some interesting stuff there we got to talk about. There's some fun things that we're gonna be able to see. So we talked briefly on the first topic here last episode because Jay brought it up in a question here. We got Jaxson Dart's debut here, and the big thing really is, can he handle the speed of the NFL? Because that's been something you've heard a lot about as far as practices. Now, obviously, a lot of the practices so far have been open to the public. You've had fans joining in. They're now at the point that, you got media only now at these events. Now, the fans ones are over. And we said that's going to happen because of the fact that you have, you want to implement a plan. And if you have everybody and their mother there with the cameras, it's hard to implement a plan. When you have media there only, you can kind of control what they show. And to be very frank, they're not allowed to show pretty much anything. that's
pretty much.
that's
And
pretty
it's
much what
not
it
just
is.
the Giants.
Here's your pictures.
It's
Here's your videos. Use that. Anything else, we're gonna boot you.
Yeah, and let's be real. 31 other teams do it in the NFL because
Hey.
no one wants to see what the other team is playing for.
Yep. But
Well, they want to see what they're playing for, but
the news in the first part, the first few days or so of camp is that Jaxson Dart was not looking so good through picks, obviously back-to-back first practices. But his first play ever, technically in the NFL, was a interception there. But
I think that's good luck.
yeah, well, it seems so because he's looked a lot better since. I mean, there's been a lot of good news as far as that. I mean, listen, he's a rookie. He's a project. I'm not trying to overhype the kid. We've said this from the get-go. This is what he is. He's a rookie. He is a project. I cannot say that enough. Let me say it again. He's a rookie. He's a project. A rookie and a project. Like, that's what he is.
He's a joker. He's a smoker. He's a midnight toker.
He plays music on the sun. Is that this next line? I can't remember.
I don't
anyway.
Remember.
But the big thing is that I want to see him come in, and I want to see him make some decent plays. And what I mean by decent, guys, let me be very clear. I'm not looking for an 80-yard bomb to neighbors for a touchdown. Like, that's not what we're expecting here. I just want to see somebody who looks like they belong. Does that make sense?
Pick.
Exactly. Like, again, project. Not expecting to light the world up. I want to see him, though, go ahead and look like we don't go, oh, God, what did we do? Like, I'm okay if he doesn't do anything crazy. I really am. If he does nothing crazy whatsoever, but just looks okay, looks solid, I'm perfectly fine. Serviceable. Yeah. This is supposed to be a confidence-building game for him, where not just we feel like he belongs in the NFL as fans, but he feels like he belongs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be a little bit of build up there. And this is a guy that, quite frankly, the preseason guys may be the only time we see him until November, December, so it's important reps. But I also don't want to see him be in a situation where he plays half the game either, because you increase the potential for him to kind of get exposed a little again. That's the project part of this. He's not ready, guys. He's not going to be ready. If you think he is ready, you're kidding yourself.
I would love to go in there, see Russ throw, pretty much do, one whole play down, if you will. Let him take the ball down the field. Hopefully get a touchdown. Once he gets off the field, once that offense gets off the field off that drive, take him off and let James Winston play for 3 quarters.
Honestly, I don't know what they're going to do, because part of the problem you run into is this. The Giants, at least in the Daboll area, have really not done a lot with starters. So you might not see Russell Wilson at all. We're going to have to see what they do as far as that. That I haven't heard anything either pro or con yet. So if anybody hears anything, or if anybody watches this after the fact, not live, and sees it, feel free to pop into the comments section there. But I want to see Dart, but I don't want to see him for half the game like that. I think what's going to end up happening is maybe one series with the starters, if that. And to be honest, probably nothing at all. Would not shock me at all to see no starters at all.
Yeah.
You're going to probably see one half with Winston, 1 quarter with Dart, and 1 quarter with DeVito. Because don't forget, DeVito's got to have to get some playing time, because he's not just playing for the Giants. He's playing for his future right now.
That's fair.
The Giants are going to understand and respect that. And they're going to put him in for some time at that point to let him show the NFL what he's got. Because assuming there's no injuries, he's probably going to be cut, with the potential to bring him back on the practice squad, but he's probably going to be cut. So you figure Dart in that option, you're going to probably see him the 3rd quarter, which means you're going to be playing against guys who, quite frankly, most of these guys will not be on a roster when this whole thing is said and done. So I'd like to see him, like I said, look good. Again, I'm not going to set the expectations crazy. I want to see him look like a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah. I want to see, like I said, I don't want to play more than a quarter. I really want to see maybe a drive or 2, maybe 3. Depends on how fast you go, what happens. listen, if he throws a 6-yard bomb to Neighbors and we get a touchdown because of field position, like let him say an extra drive like that.
Neighbors, I'm telling you right now, you will not see Neighbors. Let me be very clear.
I just threw it out there. All right, you
I'm
can
just
just
saying,
put it out.
I just want to be clear for everybody on there. We're not going to see Neighbors because of the injuries. I can pretty much.
I'm pretty sure we just signed Neighbors' grandmother to the 4th string. So yeah, throw it to his grandmother. 6 yards. Let her get a touchdown. Yeah, or Chunkies.
Yeah.
Nick, you look a little small. Have some.
Jay said, Drew's spreading too much negativity. I want to see Dart light up the Home Depot workers in the second half. Let me be very clear. We want to see him light up people. I'm going to be uber excited at that point if he does great. You know what I mean? Like, but here's the problem I run into is if I'm wrong, let's say hypothetically, I'm wrong and he's plays for longer. And he lights it up. Again, he's doing that against people who are not great players, aren't going to be potentially even on a roster when this is all said and done. So, yes, I'm going to get very excited as a fan because I just want to see good quarterback play, and I haven't seen it forever. But is that really something to be excited about?
Actually, I mean,
Davis Webb. Davis Webb led the NFL in preseason passing yards a couple of years ago, playing in the second half of games.
Yeah, but we all knew Davis Webb was on his way out. So Jay may know this. I don't know. Like we talked about combat sports a little bit, on a previous episode. But listen, jiu-jitsu has a very common saying in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's like some days you're the nail, some days you're the hammer, right? And they tell you, like, as you're advancing in your belts, like some days you have to be the hammer to the lighter belts and, beat them up, work on your technique. So yeah, if it sharpens his technique to beat up on some of these, guys that would be working at Home Depot, yeah, let him light it up. And where's the Jay? Like, let him light it up. Like, build his confidence because that's what this preseason is supposed to do for Dart because we're not going to see him later in the year. Build that confidence.
Customer assistance and lumber.
Yeah. We require some nails because his hammer's pounding through.
And see, Nick Stream says, "Love the show. Hope you'll have a nice night. Always a nice night. We can talk football. That's
Thanks,
for sure."
Amen.
And Deb, I see your question. We're going to get to that when we're done talking about Jaxson Dart here in a minute here, so we keep it on point. Though how much trouble we have doing that on our own. So. Jay says, you guys don't want to put Dart to play or like those dudes with a 20-year-old BMW scared to drive them and put miles on them. No. Let me give you want to give a car analogy. I'm going to give you the car analogy, okay? We're in the middle of building up a 57 Bel Air and you want to take it out of the shop before it's ready.
Oh, snap. You went there.
That's where I'm at with Dart. And by the way, that's like one of my favorite cars of all time. So me calling him a 57 Bel Air is actually a very nice thing for me from my standpoint. It is, yeah, because I love that car. Anybody doesn't know that car, big fins in the back, look it up, beautiful car. But you can't put him out there before he's ready and kill his confidence either. Now, again, if he doesn't look good against people that, like we said, are going to be working at Home Depots and Publix here soon, like that's an issue. But the more you throw him out there, the more you risk having a bad first taste of the NFL for him. And I know I'm saying this like, and obviously when I say coaching in a second, I know I'm not the coach, but it's like you're coaching scared, and I get that. Like there's some people are going to tell you point blank that's the wrong way to do it. But this is the same to me as like not putting him out there to start at the beginning of the season either. Don't set him up for failure. Make sure he's ready.
No, you have to go in the middle there because you can't coach scared because you have to see what you have, right? Because at the end of the day, like we need to know if this is our future. And just steal from Jay again, like you want him to light it up against the Home Depot employees. Like, right? Play the longest yard against them. Like let them do that first, right? Let them get their reps against, down the road against guys that probably never make the starters.
Yeah.
Next week following, you put them in a little earlier. Like You're going to want to bring your new toy to the sandbox, but you don't bring it out first.
And this is why I'm saying, I'm not saying not to play him. I agree with you. You can't play that coaching that scared that you don't put him out there. We got to put him out there. But I think you just got to wait just a little bit there. Like, you don't want to put him in right off the bat and start the game. You don't want to put him out there for a quarter. Like, let Jameis Winston go out there to throw his 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and, deal with it in the second half and set him up in a chance to succeed where he's going against a lesser talent level than himself. Keep in mind, that means he's also playing with a lesser talent level guy. So there's a somewhat level of a playing field in that regard too. But he should be, by all accounts, the best player on the field when he's on the field. And you give him a chance to build that confidence up. You take him out in the fourth quarter. You let DeVito clean up at that point because you're doing right by your guy who's been a part of your team for a couple of years then. And then maybe next week, depending on how he looks, maybe that's when you go ahead and do something different. Like, that's it. You got one more week before the next game. I just that's where I'm at. Let him get beat up the Jets the next week if you want to try that. And he said he's a first round pick. Your training wheel theory is absurd. Listen, you could call it absurd. Here's the thing, though. He's a first round pick because he's a quarterback.
He's a first round pick because of this draft.
No, but I'm saying he's a first round pick because he's a quarterback. If he had the same talent level at any other position, he'd be a second, third round pick.
Well, all right. He goes out early last year, right? Last draft class. Yep. Does he go number 1 in the first round? No.
I can't say after what happened last year because Bo Nix wasn't one in my eyes either. So,
yeah. Comes out next year. Is he going to be first round? Probably not.
Probably not.
So
and that's why we
took him. Yes,
I'm not going to
first round for this draft class.
I'm not going to put the position we drafted on him. That's not a him problem. That's an us problem.
Yeah, and it's
so you have to do what's right by him, not right by the position he got drafted on. Is what I'm saying.
And at the end of the day, listen, we could have took him first overall. Like, if you're supposed to develop your quarterback to be your future, you don't need training wheels, but you also want to develop them properly. Like, when you first learn how to swim, you just don't throw someone into the deep end. They normally sink. They normally, drown. You put some swimmies on them. You let them walk in the water first. That's all we're talking about here. So training wheels is not absurd.
So I'm looking up right now. We're talking about Bo Nix. So let's use Bo Nix as the comparison because I think it's a fair comparison considering, Bo Nix was really more of a second round talent that happened to get drafted in the first round. And I think that's where we're at basically with Jaxson Dart as well. It's the same kind of ballpark.
Yeah.
He was 15 of 21 in his first week. Second week, he was 8 of 9. He did not play the third week. So they kind of did the same. They didn't really throw him out there and go crazy either. By the way, Jay says Bo Nix was more ready to play than Dart. You're only helping my case.
Yeah, I was about to say, you literally just backed up what argument against what you said with the train wheels.
Beep. Like that's what it is. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be crazy. And I get it. I'm probably sounding a little scared, but quite frankly, I am. Because look at the Giants did the last time they drafted a quarterback in the first round. We threw him out there before he was ready to save a head coach's job. And then we ended up giving him a really, really crappy offensive coordinator and ruined him. Again, not that he would ever been an all-pro or anything crazy. I'm just scared we're going to ruin this kid as well. And that's where this is coming from for me. So throw him out there for a quarter. Let him play against scrubs. Let him look good. Let him gain some confidence. Maybe next week you throw him out there against a Jet team that, quite frankly, has looked like crap from all reports, by the way, in their training camp there. Now, obviously, their strength is like us. Their strength is on defense. But
I was going to say,
not a great team. Not a great team, that's for sure. So, as Deb says, Russell Wilson is our guy. Damn straight, Russell Wilson is our guy this year. Sit Dart, let him relax.
Stir in that pot.
Let him get ready. Let him marinate there. Let him marinate. As he says, Deb's taking a shot at me. She's trying to rally you up, man. Good job, Deb. All right, guys. Let's talk real quick about, because I guess I said Deb asked the question here, and I don't want to ignore her question. I just wanted to make sure we finished our point on Jaxson first. She says, "Are we glad we didn't sign Matt Stafford?" Yes. I mean, we weren't that big on the idea of it necessarily. We liked the idea of having Matt Stafford, but we also didn't like the idea of paying a $50 million to a quarterback like that, who we knew was at the end. But I think what she's probably referring to is Matt Stafford's issues with his back right now. He plans to be ready so far for week 1. He had to get an epidural. That's how bad his aggravated disc in his back is. Like that's pretty bad. So yeah, imagine if we did get him.
Well, listen,
that's a little crazy.
If the problem is, if you got Stafford, you don't have the team we have now. You have Matt Stafford and the team of last year.
Nope.
That's what you got. We'll see what we get out of the draft class, but like, I mean, yeah. You're not.
If we had Stafford, we probably don't get Javon Holland and or Paulson Adebo.
You're probably right.
Because that's their two big free agent signings we had, was obviously hopefully fixing the secondary. And those guys weren't cheap.
No. And then we're going to have the same struggles we did last year with a better quarterback. Well,
assuming he's healthy.
Absolutely.
We don't know how he's going to be this year. That he's not a guarantee to be playing this year the way he's playing, right? But you're getting epidural. If they save that for pregnancy, like that's what that's for, guys. If the name rings a bell.
Yes, it's very commonly used for pregnancy because like you're bloated, you're pushing through, and it hits your
pain is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well, it's not extreme pain, but like it numbs everything south of where you put it. I mean, it's not that uncommon for
like Rob's best
injuries.
Like an epidural.
Listen, I mean, there was talks when I had back surgery to get one.
Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, it's not like I said. It's not something minor. And I know, again, like you mentioned, you've had your own issues with your back. I've had issues with my back, not to the same degree you had, though. I didn't have surgery, but I mean, I get full on sciatica pain running down my leg if I just sleep on it wrong. Like that's just life. And it's
I mean, granted, like he's a professional athlete, so they're going to be like way more like accepting to give him like a high degree. I walked around looking like I belong in Young Frankenstein or something like that because I look like Igor because I couldn't walk straight.
Yeah, it's definitely a scenario where if you have back pain, everything's messing you up, guys. Everything. It travels everywhere because it's connected to everything. That's just life. So, we'll have to see what happens with them. Jay says we'll talk about it in 6 weeks. I think Stafford is a much better quarterback. Listen, there's no doubt that he's a better quarterback.
Yeah, we're in great.
He's a better quarterback in 2025. The question is he a better quarterback in the long term? You had to sign him to a multi-million-dollar deal like that. He wanted $50 million a year. And if he is better than Russell Wilson, because I know you hate Russell Wilson, Jay. If he's better than Russell Wilson, but not the old Stafford, he's not worth it. Especially when
even if he comes back and Stafford's probably gonna play better than like Russell. Let's be fair on what it is. When you're talking, how much did we get Russell for?
Russell Wilson is like nothing.
Yeah, this year, how much do we have to pay him?
I'm gonna look it up real quick. I don't even know the number off the top of my head, to be very frank with you. 10.5.
How much is Stafford again this year?
He's got a workout bonus. His actual cap number is $11 million.
How much is Stafford again?
50.
So $40 million against the cap, and you want to talk about the better play of Stafford or Russell Wilson when yes, quarterback room needs to be improved, but we also improved the quarterback room tremendously and made a lot of other improvements on this team with that $40 million extra dollars that we had compared to just improving Matt Stafford in their quarterback room. I think we did the right thing for the overall Giants team.
Yeah, exactly. See here, JL says, I'm reporting my credit card stolen for all those super chats I gave. Go right ahead. We've already got the money. They'll take it from YouTube, not from us. He says, yeah, well, I'm going to Rob's store and buy the cheapest vacuum. I'm sure your opinion will be different then. Oh my gosh. Well, the more the vacuum talk here.
Listen, if you want to get the Dyson like 11.7 and sit there and want to go across a 5-bedroom house with 3 baths, you're in the wrong vacuum. But that's what you're talking about when you got Russ. You want to get something a little more powerful that you're going to have to plug into the wall and continue to do the whole household. I'm
just saying, if the Dyson's your cheapest vacuum, we're in trouble here.
No, it's the mid-level.
It's the mid-level.
It's a stick vacuum. It's a stick vacuum compared to the fucking where you get the bag.
The bag wasn't cheap. They're expensive, dude.
You talking about Dyson?
Yes.
The stick ones are cheaper.
The Dysons are expensive as all hell.
I know, but the stick ones are cheaper because
ridiculous.
They sit smaller.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not smaller. I'm saying they're not a good deal, and I'm starting to doubt your abilities to go ahead and sell vacuums.
Listen, you're going to pay more for the one that you plug into the wall that sucks up more and has more power compared to the stick ones.
$250 is the cheapest.
You got a deal. That's what I said. You got a deal. You look like $700 for a mid-level.
$900 for a stick vacuum, dude.
Yeah, well, that's the top of the line. That's like $17.
Yes, we're arguing about vacuums, Deb. It happens. We argue about everything. It is what it is. Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, let's get into the talk on the other rookie that we're curious to see here, because it's not just the first for Jaxson Dart here this game coming up. It's also the first game for Abdul Carter. And I got to say, I am more psyched to see Abdul Carter than I am Jaxson Dart. And that's weird probably, but it's because the hype has been so big on Abdul Carter all camp so far. Like, he's like the second coming of Strahan or LT the way people are talking right now. And listen, I don't think he is. I think that's a crazy thing to put on this kid. But people are talking as if he is. He's unstoppable. He has all these moves. No one can guard him. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's all you've been hearing the whole entire training camp. Well, guess what, guys? We're going to finally see him play opposing opponents there. Opposing opponents. I can't call myself out. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to see him play against an opposing offensive line here. And that's something that we haven't seen him play. Listen, you can't do necessarily all kinds of tricks like we know Daboll does with the quarterbacks necessarily when you're calling up a play. But you can still put a guy in a position to succeed. And I'm not going to get hyped like crazy on Abdul Carter until I see him beat up on competition. Somebody that actually cares, like from the other sideline, about not making his guy look foolish. Like I want to see him beat up on good talent. And I don't know what they're going to do with him overall in this game. I think that, he's been healthy for the most part. So you're going to see him obviously go against, probably the top talent that does play for the Bills. We don't know what that's going to be yet either. It's probably going to be same as us, probably mostly backups.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Because I don't know how the Bills' offensive line they needed to prove last year. So I don't pretend to the front like I know what the Bills did this offseason, but like you might see a little bit.
But I think he's going to play against the top players that play. Not going to be like a Jaxson Dart. We're talking about. We don't want to see him till like the third quarter. Like he's going to be probably in off the very get go. Carter.
I think Carter's going to be in, but he's not going to play against Josh Allen.
Well, no, you're not going to see Josh Allen. That's what I'm saying. We're going to see backups, but we're not going to see third string guys. We're not getting the Home Depot Lowe's guys later on. We're not getting the guys that are playing in the UFL next year. We're going to see guys still in the beginning of the game that are the backups for the Bills that will be playing. And I think that's what I'm interested in seeing there, is more than anything him to see if he's still dominant against another team's backups. We're not going to see him against another team's starters until the season starts, probably. And if we do, it'll be a very small taste. It'll be too small of a taste to actually make an assessment of him.
It's just so tiny.
But if we see him dominate even backups, I'm going to get excited, because dominating any actual NFL player is an accomplishment. Unless you're beating the backups at the Giants, because our backups have sucked lately. But I'm just saying, like, that's what I want to see. I'm trying to be nice. Anyway, that's what I want to see. I want to see him being a guy that you get excited about just based on how he plays. And let's see if that's legit. And I don't need to see him do like a OCU Manura against the Eagles all those years ago kind of game where he has 6 sacks. I'm not expecting that. What I want to see is him just make an impact when he's on the field.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
I'm okay seeing like no sacks. It's just a ton of pressure. That means he's doing his job to get back there.
Or even I want to see him also, because I do think he's going to be used for pass coverage. As crazy as that sounds, I know some people think he's going to be pin his ears back and go for it, but that's not his game. He does it all. He can cover as well. I just want to see him, like I said, make an impact when he's on the field. That's my only goal I have for Abdul Carter. I want to see him, listen, I want to see him dominate, of course. But that can't be the expectation for a guy in his very first NFL action. Even if he is playing backups. It's not realistic, guys.
Yeah.
So I know we're coming trying to keep it realistic. He is not Micah Parsons. He said it himself. Let's see what he is.
He's his own player.
Develop into what he is.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. All right, guys. We're going to pay the bills real quick, and then we'll be back. We got a couple of the things we want to see in this game here overall. So right back at you guys.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the Goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
All righty, guys. Before we get to the next one, got to say what's up to Andy in the chat here. Now, those who may not be aware of who Andy is, he actually runs the NFC North Preseason 4 podcast, which is on the NFL Outdated channel on YouTube. And also, of course, you can see it on Facebook and all those places as well. But want to give him a shout out there for popping in. Good guy. So if you enjoy football content in general, not necessarily Giants, because like I said, it is NFC North. But if you enjoy seeing what is, quite frankly, one of the more dominant divisions right now in football, good show, has people on from all 4 teams usually on there kind of debating and going over stuff. He also asked us about Jaxson Dart, and we're excited for the long term. I'm just going to say I've seen the Caleb Williams videos, Andy. I'd be a little more worried about Caleb Williams right now if I was you.
You see that breakdown where he tries to throw into the net with 3 holes, and he just misses all 3 and just
mental breakdown. He's not mentally up. We've said on the show plenty of times before the draft leading up, we did not think he was the surefire prospect that a lot of people thought he was. So, again, time will tell if we were right. It's way too early to give up on the kid, that's for sure. But things are not looking good, that's for sure. So, but again, Jaxson Dart, we don't know. Time will tell. Nothing's going to shock me. He could be the quarterback for the next 5 years, and I wouldn't be shocked. He could be a guy that is gone in a year or two. It wouldn't shock me. Nothing's going to shock me with him because I don't think he's necessarily that great a prospect from what I've seen of him at college, but I think he does have the potential to make it. And Brian Daboll likes him, and that's what matters. Doesn't matter what I think. Matters the guy who's coaching him thinks. But he wasn't the guy coming out like Cam Ward was. We couldn't get Cam Ward. We got the guy they thought was the second best. Sometimes you can make do with the second best. Sometimes you can't.
I mean
that's
really
like
Jordan Daniels was the second best.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels was the first best. Trust me, Bears fans are okay. Listen, I don't want to get too much into the Bears stuff here. I don't want to make Andy sad either, but Bears fans are going to look back point blank on this draft from 2024, I'm sorry. And they're going to go back and say Jaxson Dart is that draft's Jaden Daniels is that draft's version of when they almost had Patrick Mahomes instead of Mitch Trubisky a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They're lining up as that team that could have had this quarterback, but that one instead. Could have had that quarterback, had this one instead. I'm just saying, we'll see. And Andy, I'm just telling you right now, Jay says Caleb Williams is going to have a breakout season. So therefore,
you're funny.
It's not going to happen. Bookhead Tackles up, man. He says we could have had Daniels. LOL. Oh, yes, I'm saying that's going to be the Bears. Again, not the Giants, just to be clear. I don't know when you popped in, but the Bears could have had Jaden Daniels, instead took Caleb Williams. And like I said, I think that's going to be a mistake for them in the long term. To the same magnitude. To the same magnitude, basically, of when they could have got in Patrick Mahomes and got Mitch Trubisky instead. I just feel like that's just like the Bears are becoming that team that just takes the wrong. It's almost like you want to call, if you need a quarterback and you're about to draft one, maybe you call up the Bears and go, who would you take? I won't. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to avoid that guy now. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you want him? When you picking? We'll leave it for you. There you go.
See. We'll see. All right, let's get back to the Giants, though, guys. I don't even mean about it there because I know Andy's a very confident guy on the Bears, and he's very bullish right now on Caleb Williams. I know he has been since day one, so I don't want to be that guy and be mean about it, but I don't see it. Never have. He's been missing Jordan Addison for too long. So let's get back to the Giants here. Let's talk about a guy who we know has been a bust so far, and that's Evan Neal. Because we know what disappointment he's been. But again, guys, one of the big storylines this year has been the fact that Evan Neal has officially moved over to the guard position. This first preseason game is going to be our first action in a game with Evan Neal playing guard. And guys, he will be playing in this game, barring any kind of unforeseen issues with injury we're not aware of. And I'm going to say this. I talked before about Jaxson Dart. I don't want to see him much. You know I want to see a ton in this game? Evan freaking Neal.
Yeah.
I want to see that burger flipper turning into a pancake flipper. Okay. Like I want to see this guy playing as much as possible because we're going to have to make a decision here in this training camp as far as who's going to be the starting right guard. And Greg Van Roten, you got to think, is the presumptive guy, obviously, because of the fact that he held down the position last year, played every single snap. But you really listen, if you're a Giant fan, you should want Evan Neal to be the winner because he has a higher potential than Greg Van Roten does. And I know that sounds weird. We've been not very high on Evan Neal in a long time, like basically since we drafted him. But Evan Neal has a higher ceiling than Greg Van Roten, who's in his mid-30s and has been a late bloomer, a solid player. Like, I'm not trying to diss Greg Van Roten. He did a lot for us there last year. But GVR was bad for a lot of years. Ask Jet fans. He was a Jet for a little while. Carmen Brasil has made him a serviceable player. But do not confuse it he's not a great player. He's a solid player. There is a difference. What I mean by that is you can put him on the field, he won't embarrass you. He's never going to be elite potentially. Evan Neal, I don't want to sit there and say he's going to be elite. Like, I'm not trying to flip that craziness. But if you want to talk about who has a higher ceiling as a player, guys, it's Evan Neal. Plus, JVR could potentially take over for JMS in the acronym more as our center if JMS continues playing like he has played the last 2 years, which, again, you got to hope not. In that scenario, let's say Evan Neal does take that right guard spot. JMS, you keep him at the center for at least to start the season. You have a solid guy in Greg Van Roten on the bench that can play center or guard if somebody goes down. And when I say if someone goes down, it's inevitability. We're the freaking Giants.
It's a matter of when.
That's life. That is life. And he could play either guard position or center and be a nice, legit backup interior offensive lineman. And then, you know what? Evan Neal, even if he plays just as good as Greg Van Roten, that's a win for us right now, considering how bad he's played at tackle. And listen, I may hold a grudge on Evan Neal because of his BS comments about calling, fans that are talking trash about him burger flippers and all that kind of stuff like he did. But my biggest issue is, quite frankly, that's the biggest fight I've ever seen this guy. Is him complaining about the fans. I want to see him succeed at guard. He's a Giant. I will want to see him succeed as long as he's wearing that blue uniform. Or white uniform, depending on the week, obviously. But you know what I mean. Wearing that Giants helmet. I want to see this kid succeed. And I still think he has a chance to succeed at guard. I may not be as high as him as I was when we drafted him originally, because I was so ecstatic that we got him. It's not even funny. Like, this has been one of the biggest busts on my radar for a guy that I thought was going to be a really good, solid player. And he's turned out to be very bad. So let's hope this is a redemption arc for him. That's what I want to see. Like, he's Loki in the Marvel movies. He's become a good guy. And let's hope he becomes a good player. Like I said, I think out of all the players, I will probably be rooting for him more than anybody else.
Interesting.
Because, again, there's the angle of it. As much as I got upset at the comments, the angle is still there. The Giants effed up his injury. And the Giants point blank cost him time and cost him a chance to actually get back and get healthy. I think the Giants also should have forced him inside much sooner than they have. And I get a part of that is the injury. Part of that. But he's a guy who, quite frankly, cannot play tackle because he can't set that edge. He can't stop people from getting around him. But I think if you want a mauler, especially in the run game, at guard, where he's got some help on both sides, I think he has the potential to be a decent player. Again, I said decent. I don't know what the ceiling is at this point in his career for him after, being bad for 3 years. I don't. Jay says, you should get an Evan Neal jersey. Show your solidarity, Drew. 6'7" underachievers. First off, I am not an underachiever. God damn it.
I'm not an animal.
My confidence that I have in life, honestly, is because of the stuff that I have in life. I've got a lot of blessings, that's for sure. And let's be honest, Evan Neal does too, because he's got a lot of money. He's got a lot more money than myself. That's for damn sure. But I didn't even realize he was 6'7" till right now. But there's a difference between he and I. He's 350 pounds. I'm 260. There's a slight difference. There's a slight difference in the weight there.
Listen, there's a big difference in the mass.
There's a difference there. Bookend Tackle says he ruined my YouTube name. I said it right after we drafted him. Oh my god, yeah, I did. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. This is they talk about Penix. We'll get to that afterwards. So they were talking about that in the comment section. But yeah, like I said, Evan Neal, guys, this is one of the biggest things for us to watch, I think, honestly, in this. And Will I get overly excited if he succeeds? No, obviously, again, it's a preseason game. But I'll still think there's hope if he succeeds. If he looks as bad in this game as he looked at tackle for his career, it's going to be a disappointment.
Yeah.
Because all along we've been saying, move him to guard, let's see what he's got. It was obvious from the get-go, basically, he wasn't going to be a good tackle. So let's hope that that's the case, because there were some people, guys, remember on draft night that said point blank he probably should play guard in the NFL.
It was a big talk that night.
There was talk of that. So it's not like this popped up out of nowhere. You know, that's where he was at. He needs to move to guard. And now he's moved to guard. And hopefully, that's where he ends up. And I think in the end, I think it's going to be a 50-50 with him and GVR. And if it's 50-50, the tie should go to Evan Neal. Because of that fact that he's still learning the position, and because of the fact that he has the higher ceiling. You know, that's where I'm probably at this point with him. That's my hope, is that he takes that spot. Dorothy says Neal can't look that bad at tackle because he has other players to make up for his mistakes now on either side. And obviously I think she means guard, not tackle. But yeah, that's part of it, again, because he has someone to help him actually set the edge. Jermaine Illuminor was, I think, an above average right tackle for us. And maybe it's just he looks so damn good to us because of the fact that we had such crappy right guard play from Evan Neal and other people for so long. Looking at you, Matt Pert. But that's what just happens sometimes, you know? And he says, I think he's going to be just mid, not embarrassed or anything. Honestly, that's a win at this point compared to what he's been. If he's a mid, and you mean he's an average guard, that's a win at this point. Sad to say, but that's the case. He says, yeah, Jay says, yeah, empanada, gives the poison logo. Says JMS looks like a pinata.
Yeah, JMS dead.
Yeah.
Like he's over. Dead.
Yeah.
God.
We'll see.
Not
We'll
poison.
see. Well, that's a poison emoji. That's poison.
No, that's a dead symbol. Like you're done. It's dead. It's over.
It's the poison.
God. Yeah, JMS. No. That's learn your emojis. Listen, I know you're Gen X, bro.
Oh, okay.
I know you just barely made the custom millennial. That's dead. Like
I'm a Zennial. I don't call myself a millennial. I'm a Zennial.
Oh, make it up yourself. That's even
no. That's
more.
Not look it up. It's a legit term. It's a legit term because I didn't grow up with technology. I got it later when I'm still young enough to know it. But I'm not old enough to, you know, I'm not old enough to have not had it when I was young, but didn't grow up with it where I had it my whole life, basically. But
that's for the millennials.
It's a thing. No. Millennials grew up with it because you're a millennial. So 77 to 85. That's the Zennial. I looked it up. I Googled it because it is a thing.
When did they put that in? 3 weeks ago?
No, it's been there for a while. This has been a term for years. I'm seeing an article here back in 2018.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's some dude because you don't want to be a Gen X.
No, I'm not a Gen X. Listen, first we're arguing over vacuums. Now we're arguing over generations here. The hell's going on with this damn episode?
Gen Alpha's the next one. Oh, geez.
Oh, my gosh. Bookend says, I think you're talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're talking about JMS because you put this right after Jay's comment. He says he's good at run blocking, just no balance at pass pro. But technically, you could probably say that about JMS and Evan Neal, to be honest with you. He says, Jay says, can you go by an acronym if you suck? I think so. I don't think so. It is what it is. He says JPP better than JMS. That's the thing. You're supposed to be a good player to get a nickname and an acronym.
You're right.
Rob's 4 hours away from being 40.
Damn, bro, you stalking? How do you know? I got a little more time than that. Not much.
Not much, though. I still have some water from the Fountain of Youth. We went for my 40th. What's
and he's something. Oh, damn.
And then
bro, I went on a ribbit over the weekend. That's when I realized I was old and fat. Too much going in the crowd.
A A what
A
this
rivet.
weekend? What the hell's that?
It's what they call the inflatable, pretty much jungle gym in the water.
Oh, okay. I know it.
And it's almost like Wipeout and American Ninja Warrior mixed in.
I've been at those before. They had those. Last time I saw it was when I was in Mexico, one of the cruise stops, when I was staying at one of those beach resort clubs things. And I didn't go anywhere near. I knew my old ass did not need to go anywhere near that thing. I beyond reached that point in my life. I know better.
Yeah, I went with the little guy is a little too young for it, but we went with the lady's good friend. Her son is 15, and no one could go on with him. And I was like, "All right, bro, let's go."
His back hasn't been the same ever since.
No, by pride.
Dorothy says if Neal took a ballet class, he might have a long career as a burger flipper at the ballet. Oh my. All right, we got one more thing we want to talk about with this game here. Oh my God, Jay says Rob is the guy.
Yo, don't pull up my spot, bro.
Oh my God, he said Rob is the guy throwing sex toys at WNBA games. Oh my gosh.
Listen, they would be blue, not green.
Listen, are they going to start like checking people's pockets at the games to make sure that they have dildos in their pockets? Like, that's crazy.
Well, how many houses are you getting in there?
Other pockets? Prison pockets?
Yeah, exactly. The prison wallet.
Oh my God. Sir, why are you gyrating at the entrance? No reason. Oh my gosh. Anyway, there's things we talk about in this show. This is why we always say this is a fan show, but it's not necessarily a show for the little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fan show, not necessarily a family show.
It can't be a family show, just not for the youngest generation of the family.
Yeah.
There is a difference. So, all right. One more segment, like I said, guys, we had here. So we want to talk about one more thing we really thought was going to be a fun thing to watch during this game here. And that's the CB2 battle there with Deonte Banks and Cor'Dale Flott battling it out for the chance to start alongside Paul Debo this season. Listen, again, I don't know what they're going to do starter-wise. And I think that's something we're going to have to kind of see what's going to happen as far as what they even do. If did they not put one of these guys even in the game? Because if they don't play Banks per se, or they don't play Flott, then that is going to lead to one of two things. Is there an injury they're kind of nursing there that we weren't aware about prior to the game, or at least as we're recording this right now, or is whoever's sitting now the starter basically, and that's what's going to happen. And listen, we said a while ago that Flott was kind of looking better, but Banks has been playing better as of late. I don't know if he's like stepping up to the occasion because this is the first time he's had to actually battle for a position. He even had an interception at practice today.
Ooh.
You know what that means, guys? He had to turn around. Like
every now and then, put your arms up for the ball.
And that's been the biggest issue with him, guys. Besides the fact that he's had effort issues last year, and I think there was attitude issues and everything. And again, the Giants didn't put him in the best position. I want to beat that dead horse, but he wasn't ready to be a CB1. Now he's got a chance to play CB2, which is his rightful position. As long as he's screwed on right. And he has a chance to go ahead and, play some weaker talent. I hate to say it that way, but again, when you're CB2, you play the second best receiver, not the best. Assuming you play the position the way I always say you should, and that's the CB1 should follow the wide receiver, the WR1, and go ahead and keep it that way and let it be, because you should want your best cover guy on their best catch guy. It's always the way I believe in football. We'll see what they do this year, because you just never know with all the influx of talent what they're going to do. But that's the way I've always been. But he's been decent at coverage. He's been decent at staying step for step with a receiver his career. He hasn't been able to turn around. He's also had some issues with being in the wrong place in zone coverage at times, which has quite frankly been an issue for a lot of the guys, not just him. So just got to throw that out there. I don't want to put too much on him. That's not necessarily fair, but the fact that he got an interception today means he has turned his head. So if somebody finally took the suggestion that we've made multiple times of saying, hey, when you're at the training camp, just yell his name and then say, look, you can turn your head. If someone did that, kudos to you. But he's obviously
that's why I get the interception. That's every time the ball's going this way, just call his name real fast.
Because of our suggestion. It's because of our suggestion.
Yeah.
The 2-9 goofball interception right there. But no, like I said, maybe he's turning a corner of some sort and realizing that that's something he has to do. I don't know. I don't want to make too much hype off of one play in this, a training camp. But we're grasping for optimism out of this kid because, again, Rob and I weren't big on him coming out of the draft like the Giants were. We didn't think he would ever be a CB1. I thought he'd be a CB2.
I wasn't big of like just taking him when we did. Like I think once again, way too early. Shame. Yeah. But
he had the physical tools. Like I thought he'd be a corner in this league. I thought he'd be a starting corner in this league. I did not think he'd ever be a CB1. That's where I had him. And it's just another part of this draft class here. That's an issue here because most of those draft classes until last year, those first couple ones, not good for Joe Schoen. As Jay asked in one of the very few questions here and statements that aren't about the WNBA and their things being thrown in the court, which we'll get to more in a minute, get canceled here. But he asked about the 2020. Oh, here we go. He says, Robin Drew is the whole 2023 draft a complete bust. So far, it's looking that way. I mean, Deonte Banks, again, bust because he's not a CB1. We drafted him at first round, which means he should be a CB1. That's on the Giants, not necessarily on him. We'll see if he develops into being a decent, player overall. JMS has been a bust in the second round. Jalen Hyatt's been a bust in the third round. Eric Gray has been a bust in the fifth round, like we knew he would be. Trey Hawkins, 6th round pick. I don't know if I want to call him a bust because he's been at least the guy that takes up a roster spot in the 6th round. Now, that's all you can care for. He's a bust from what they talked about him, obviously, in the first training camp, though, when he was going to be an amazing player. But he's been a decent depth guy, I think, for the most part. And that's all you can expect out of a 6th round pick. Jordan Riley, obviously, again, 7th round pick there. Oh, no, hold on. Trey Hawkins was a 5th round pick. Jordan Riley was a 6th round pick. But Jordan Riley, obviously nothing much, but again, 6th round pick. Javarius Owens, 7th round pick, is even on this roster anymore. But again, it's a 7th round pick. Trey Hawkins might be the absolute best guy on that draft.
It's crazy to say,
right? And that's crazy, but that's where we're at. But I think Banks is salvageable as a number 2 corner, or maybe even a number 3, depending what happens with the Flott. I think he has a spot on this roster as long as we can keep his head screwed on straight and turning around.
Yeah, little gibble, if you will.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get going, we will touch base, no pun intended, here on this conversation you guys are having here. As Deb says, this entire episode is XXX rated. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be talking about football here.
Hey, listen, we talk sports the whole time. It's all right.
Dorothy says the amount of disposable income required to throw toys on I'm going to say it that way so we don't get canceled for saying the other S word too many times. On a court is mind-boggling. I guess the game tickets might be cheap. I'd imagine they're cheap. I mean, to be honest,
you can also get those toys off
playing. Nobody really went to the WNBA games. Let's be honest. The league's really been losing money and being, only afloat because the NBA gives it money. Jay says it's WNBA. I don't really get the outrage, to be honest. It's dumb. People act like it's a crime. Listen, I think it's disrespectful. I got to be honest. I think it's disrespectful to the players.
It is to a point, especially because it's very easy to say because it's happened multiple times. But it's also happened in the NFL quite a few times. Just saying. And no one said it's an S crime, if you will, when it was thrown on the Bills game in Buffalo against the Patriots. No one said that. Just saying.
Let me just put it this way to you.
And that one was pink.
Hypothetically, we're doing the show, and someone throws a pocket P word, and you know what I mean when I say that, at you.
We'll say a nice flashlight.
Yes, like you know what I'm talking about. Like someone throws one of those at you. That's disrespectful to you.
It's also kind of funny.
It is, but again, it's a different thing because we're a fan podcast and we try to have fun, you know. Like imagine if that happening, you know, to you while like, you know, something serious is going on. Like you're trying to sell some vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
Like imagine at work that happens.
Right up.
Like how embarrassing would that be? Because this is their job.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to be taken serious and should be taken serious because again, it may not be a popular sport, but it is a professional sport. These are the best women basketball players probably in the world because it's an American sport. Like I'm not a women's basketball expert, so maybe I'm wrong. So I'm going to say probably. You know, like this is their job. You don't need to be doing that.
No, but all I'm saying is it's in bad taste. It is. But to just specialize and just say it only happens to the WNBA, it's only happened this year where it's got broadcast out. It's happened in the NFL 2 years ago, like multiple times in the game, and no one made it as big as a headline as it is right now. I got swept under the rug.
No, and again, I'm not saying that people are doing it specifically because they're women. And I don't know what the
they may be. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know what the motivation is. Maybe someone just thought it'd be funny in general, and it's kind of turned into a thing. Maybe someone did it because they're women. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to put myself.
Go to the NBA and do it.
I'm not going to try to put myself into the mind of somebody who thinks it's fun to bring one of those to a professional sports game and just throw it onto the court because that's a crazy person. I'm sorry, that's insane.
Yeah,
like. That's not the place for those kind of jokes. It's not. And far be it from me to be the person to try to be the mature one here, because that's insanity right there. I'm just saying, like, if I am the voice of reason, you know we're in goddamn trouble here.
That's an old age, your generation talking there. You Gen X talking.
Zennial, goddamn it! I'm saying, like, that's a bad day when I am the voice of reason. It's just like I said. It just. And Jay says, "But you use your show towels on your goofballs after you drink beers.
Got to keep them dry."
I don't know why you think that I'm sitting around doing it. Why do you put that picture in your mind, Jay, of me doing that at home? I'm just saying.
The Big Lebowski style.
On you, man. That one's on you. Oh my gosh. And I'm not even touching the comment about Epstein that you put there, Jay. That's not even going anywhere. You're just trying to get us canceled off of YouTube, aren't you? You really are. Oh my
Fantastic comment, though.
It's listen. Like I said, that just You start bringing that up. Next thing you know, we're going to have all kinds of people doing political things.
The FBI will be knocking on our doors.
So let's go back to actual Giants football. The book and tackle says, hopefully he can learn, but I worry ball location is a natural skill he may not be able to correct. That's possible. And I don't think he's ever going to be, this guy who gets league leads in, interceptions or anything crazy like that. But he's going to get a couple if he turns his goddamn head. You can't catch him.
Listen, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yes.
Like, he's just got to be active in the game and paying attention and not giving up. Like, they will come. As long as he's trying to say, like, oh, it's right there.
You could put the hand on the player you're covering, and people do it all the time, so you can mirror what he's doing, and if he turns, you feel it. But you have to have the ability to put your hand there and not go ahead and get past interference, obviously. And then when you see his head move, your head should move as well. That's the way you play the freaking position. That's the way you're trained early on. And as Deb says, give it up, Tree will not get the show back on football. Well, we're back on football right now.
Definitely talking about balls.
We're back, Mortimer. If anybody knows that reference, good for you. But yeah, like I said, that's my big four things, though, guys, that I'm curious about seeing here with this first preseason game. Because again, it's a preseason game. Everybody and their mother that's on the roster is going to be in there. I'm not going to enjoy the game like I would a regular season game. Not gonna. But you know what I will do is I will go ahead and watch it. I will say this as well for those who are looking for a place to be. As usual, I will go ahead and stream the show if we're able to watch the game. Like I said, like supposedly it's going to be on NFL Network and all this stuff that I have the ability to go ahead and watch it here from home. So that being the case, I will be here live streaming. It'll be just me. Rob's got some stuff to do there. He'll be watching the game elsewhere with people. I have no life, so I'll be here. So and keep in mind, again, it is a game. So we will have a post-game show as well. Again, I think that's going to be myself only because Rob's got things that he's doing with watching the game with people as well. But like I said, we will go ahead and have live coverage on the game, assuming that I can watch it here from Florida, like I should be able to based on what they're saying. And we will have the post-game as well. So like I said, again, hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. You'll know we go live doing that there. But like I said, I'm really going to be excited to see what happens with Jaxson Dart, Abdul Carter, Evan Neal, and the two corners battling it out for that CB2 spot with Cor'Dale, Flott, and Deonte Banks, guys. Keep in mind, again, tomorrow. Like I said, we will have a guest on, like I said. So, like I said, if you haven't already, go ahead and, like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe for that as well. Jay says, Drew, you get the preseason for $6 on NFL Plus. Every game is NFL Network for the Giants. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I should have it. I'm always going to give that just in case because I don't have TV that I can watch on like y'all that can go on Channel 4. Every so often, I get told I can watch the game. No, it's on. No, this week it's on Channel 4.
Yeah.
They said the preseason stuff is always on 4. I don't know why. I guess it's to make them feel like they're special. But
guys, I'm saying.
But again, I'm gonna be watching the show if on there. But if I gotta watch it on my phone or something like that, because I've had to do that before, I'm not gonna do the live telecast of it because that's just horrible. But if it'll let me go ahead and play it here on one of my screens in front of me or my TV over here, and I can do that, then we'll have it on. So I said probably going to. I'm just giving the little asterisk just in case. That's all. So again, guys, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. Appreciate you guys watching. As always, we are live on YouTube, which of course is again the preferred platform to watch the show on, along with Facebook, Twitter /X, Twitch, and today is not on Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile, because apparently StreamYard, the platform that streams this to everybody here, for some reason, them and LinkedIn are not playing nice today, so we only on the 4. I know you're
typically Drew's like their profile.
Typically we are, and of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms as well: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. We forgot something Monday we're on. So I do try to give a little shout out sometimes to the people who listen on audio because I always feel bad that they're not able to, interact with us in person there or interact with us on, through chat and stuff like that. We did break a record again last month for the most audio downloads in the show. So I got to thank all y'all that are out there in podcast land for that, because you don't typically break records in the off season. Like, to be honest with you guys, the first couple weeks of the season is the biggest time period for us typically, because of the fact that, you know, the teams kind of sucks lately. So, like, you know, people kind of trail off. Got to stop watching the stuff.
Yeah, stop drinking on Sundays because there's listen, we're playing good. You can continue to drink, but yeah.
So, but like I said, we're appreciative. You know, and it's been my decent amount the last couple of months. We back-to-back months breaking records. So, like I said, appreciated you guys that are out there in audio podcast land. But again, guys, that's going to call it a night for us. We'll see you all tomorrow night. Appreciate you guys for watching as always. And as always, Giant fans, go G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging.